Republicans tearing into President Biden for a missing deadline release information about the Wuhan lab's possible links to the origins of the COVID pandemic. Congress voted unanimously back in March to give the United States 90 days to make that intel public. But that deadline came and went. Yep, Biden administration didn't cough that up. The White House directed Fox to DNI Avril Haines' office. Her office said they've been carefully declassifying the report. House Intelligence Committee Chair Mike Turner had this to say.
This certainly is a deadline that was passed, that was put in law. She's going to have some explaining to do in addition to produce these documents. When these documents are made public and they're read, they're going to be in sharp contrast to the unclassified version that was put out by the Biden administration. I think that'll also give people pause because they'll believe that the administration was being disingenuous when they released their unclassified statement.
Fox has now confirmed a prominent United States-funded scientist who worked on coronavirus projects is one of 3 Chinese researchers who became very ill with an unspecified illness during the initial COVID outbreak. Well, those things were talked about, but we were stickered on Twitter if we asked questions about them. Kamek, Republican Congresswoman of Florida, member of the Energy and Commerce Committee and the Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government. Great to see you today. What should we be focusing on as we learn this new information?
Well, Harris, it seems like every day is a game of whack-a-mole with this administration. If it's not one thing, it's another. You know, we're seeing that this deadline has been missed in conjunction with this bombshell report that has been verified that patient 0 actually worked in the taxpayer-funded Wuhan lab. So that in itself, right there, means that there is so much more for us to uncover. But of course, what we've seen in the past from the Biden administration is them continually missing statutorily declared deadlines, like the budget, for example. So you have to ask yourself, is this incompetence or is this malice? At this point, neither is acceptable. What we need to do is continue to uncover all of these documents, but more than anything, the American people deserve to see the unclassified document. They need to know the truth about the origins of COVID and what the administration and Congress has known all along. It's that transparency and accountability that Americans, regardless of party, have been demanding. And I think that they're hesitant to do so because they recognize that this report that they are, quote unquote, attempting to declassify and has been taking so long that it flies in the face of the political narrative that they have been pushing out there. They're going to have some explaining to do. And as we know, Mr. Clean, he's on perpetual duty with the White House. They are constantly walking back statements. This is going to be one more example of that.
Yeah. It also complicates where we are with China right now. I mean, how can you hold their feet to the fire when you hold no leverage, which is what some of my guests, like Representative Mike McCall, said recently with our Secretary of State sitting down with President Xi of China. They got us. All right, let's move on. After Hunter Biden's plea deal with the Department of Justice, House Oversight Chair James Comer promised to forge ahead with its investigation ongoing into the Bidens. Top House Republicans totally on board.
If you are the president's son, you get a sweetheart deal. Now, this does nothing to our investigation. It actually should enhance our investigations because the DOJ should not be able to withhold any information now.
Hunter's not out of the woods yet, though, and the House, the Oversight Committee is on the issue of the source of these funds because there's no real clarity.
I have just a fundamental question. If Joe Biden's not the big guy, who is? So that's what we're digging into. Be forthcoming with this. Let us see the information.
One op-ed headline, Hunter Biden's plea deal reeks, asking how it could take 5 years to come up. Another argues Hunter Biden's plea deal is proof Democrats are the untouchables in Joe's America. The New York Post cover highlighting the gun that sparked the charges with the headline, Hunter gets away with it. Okay, there's so many pictures and videos. I know it's offensive, but it's everywhere. And he's prolific.
Harris, if this isn't Democrat privilege, I don't know what is. This is a double standard, the hypocrisy at the highest levels, the elite untouchables, call it whatever you will. But this highlights the two-tiered justice system that we are seeing right now in America. This is the destruction of some of the most important pillars in America and our constitutional republic. You wonder why Americans are losing faith in the media. They're losing faith in the justice system. It's because of things just like this. He gets 2 years probation, a slap on the wrist. This guy faced his first gun charge, or his first drug charge, in 1988, the year that I was born. 35 years this guy has been building up a record, a rap sheet, and all he gets is a slap on the wrist and 2 years probation. Never mind the fact that he was not eligible for the program that has allowed him to divert into probation rather than face trial, rather than face real jail time. That right there is a slap in the face, and it goes against the very principles and the very guiding documents that are published on the DOJ website right now. So again, I think we have to get to the bottom of this. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Just because they give him a little bit of a slap on the wrist does not mean that we just turn away and say, oh, what's done is done. We need to get to the bottom of it, and if they have nothing to hide, they'll come forward, they'll stop obstructing what we need to do in terms of investigations.
Congressman Kamek, I want to bring you back on another day. I really want to dig deep into, the next time we talk, what regular Americans, like some of the rappers that have come out now and said they faced, like Kodak Black just talked to Fox News Digital. He faced something similar. He didn't get the same treatment as a rap artist that Joe Biden's son got. I mean, it's going to get interesting. So glad to have you in focus.
Ask Wesley Snipes, the actor. He'll tell you.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.